All right, good morning to you, and thank you for keeping it here once more on Biashara Tuesday. As I told you earlier, I am joined by Dr. Crystal Richardson. She is a wealth innovation strategist. She's an author. She has very many awards. She will probably speak about some of her achievements still within her introduction. She is a humanitarian with a lot of accomplishments, has been knighted, has been recognized in nations here in Kenya and globally, and we're excited to have her join us on Zoom from the United States, but to also localize this conversation and put it in context with what the efforts they are doing. We have in studio with us in person, we have Dr. Juma. He's been here with us before. He has brought us a wealth of guests, and finally we are able to have the man himself sit alongside me here on the show to let us know what he has been up to and what he will be up to in the coming few months. So sit back, enjoy, relax. This is going to be an exciting conversation. So maybe I can start with Dr. Richardson, who's on Zoom. Alafu tukuja in studio here. Good evening. I understand it's evening where you are. Good evening and welcome to the show. Please introduce yourself. How have you been and how are you today?
Well, thank you so much. It's great to be back on your show. I was on the beginning of last year, and it's just been a lot going on getting all of this together to actually launch the ICE Innovation Centers of Excellence at Kenyatta University. So I'm very, very thrilled and excited to be here. And it's about the students. It's not necessarily about me. You already said a few things about me, but I'm happy to be here and am glad to have Dr. Juma joining us.
Right. I love the humility already. Of course, it's not about you, it's about the students, but of course the efforts that you've been up to will definitely have to recognize some of that. Let me also introduce Dr. Juma. Karibu to the show once more. You've been, I think you're now family, you're part of us, yeah?
Sure, this is home.
Yes, please reintroduce yourself then to our viewers.
All right, thank you. It's a pleasure for this wonderful moment that also I'm having to be hosted here together with my senior, of course, Dr. Kristen. I am so happy that she's able to join and very clear. Well, to our audience, I'm Dr. Juma Nation, the CEO of GPP Global Partners in Purpose Network. And this is a consultancy firm that is much more given into procuring strategic partnerships that could help us leverage on many aspects, especially on institutional capacities. And I'm so excited because I do believe that today we have great news.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. We'll be breaking the good news to them in a short while.
Exactly.
I started this show by saying that I am unusually happy today. It seems I'm sharing this with a lot more people.
Yeah.
There's exciting news on your end, which means you're also as happy. And I'm hoping we can spread this happiness to the students and the people
Absolutely.
who are watching us on the show. Let me switch back to Dr. Richardson and maybe ask, welcome back to KUTV and to KU. Why are you back to KU specifically?
Well, specifically, it has to do with the students, like I said. I can go on and on to talk about myself, but I really want to get into why we are here to do what we have set out to do. And one of my missions in life is to positively impact at least 1 billion people in this world. And I do that by doing things like this ICE initiative. So that's Innovation Centers of Excellence, because I believe that everyone has creativity inside of them and that everyone should be given the chance to magnify that and illuminate that and have it be something that spreads out to be an actual amazing positive impact in the world. And not just an impact, but having what we call the energizing and the fueling of sustainability and monetization, because all of our communities need that, but especially in Africa and across Africa, there's a lot that we can all do to give back and have where we're able to help students raise up whatever it is that is inside of them from a creativity perspective and create sustainability and monetization. We need money
Right.
to,
We need
to
money.
have where we full our lives, right? And
Yes.
so anything that we can do to not just make money, but to have a positive impact in the world is what this is about. And it's a very unique way that we do it with Innovology. Innovology, it's on my shirt. I had it on when I think I was there the last time too.
Yeah,
So
I have the same T-shirt as well.
Yeah. I hope you've been wearing it a lot.
Yeah, I do. It's the creativity in motion.
It is very good, very good. You get more points, and so
Right.
yes, it's the manifestation of creative thought in motion, and so we all have creative thought, and just simply put, it's creativity to cash flow, where we can then have the impact that we are all meant to have in this world.
Right. So what I understand is that the innovation centers of excellence are shining a spotlight on everyone because you believe that there is the power of innovation within every one of us, and we can eventually monetize it.
Right.
Okay.
Right. That's true. And so I've done this with various students over the last, I think, 5 to 7 years or so, with various programs I've had in Next Gen Innovators and Echelon Leadership Institute. But the ICE centers is something different because it's an actual standalone curriculum where there's 2 9-week semesters where it's power packed with information for the students to be able to not just have the in-class sessions, but everything is interactive. And basically, we hope to have base sessions where everything is done in class, where there's not necessarily a lot of homework, where we can have everyone doing the interactive part to really make all of the points sink in.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you very much there. Dr. Juma, let's bring this conversation to Kenya. It's been happening. She said I worked with, various institutions across the world.
Sure.
And they're trying to now bring it to Kenya. And you were telling me earlier, before we started the show, that there's need for that practical part of knowledge. How is ICE going to do that now?
Exactly. And in fact, the most exciting thing is that you see, we are honored to have the global ambassador of innovation herself in touch with the ground. And you see, it is not something that is theoretical. I've personally been there and I've seen how innovation is taking place. The mindset behind all the education we do have. And when we look at the younger generation with the talents they do have, how can we retool, reskill, re-equip them to the extent that they are not going to be students looking for employment? I think because you will agree together with me that most of our African education system trains us to be employees somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of mindset and attitude we do have. So despite the good, great abilities we have, the talents we have, and even the education we gain, ultimately you find so many graduates outside there helpless. They have no direction. They don't know what to do. It's like all that was spent to them in the institution of education never helped them. And that's why you find that the ICE is coming with practicality, starting with the mindset, so that at the end of the day, even when you are learning, you're already liberated from that aspect of you are going to be employed somewhere.
Okay.
Because I think that's what we inherited from the colonial system of education. I've always said that without apology, is because our mind became colonized, and we can't forthrightly translate even our dreams into some practical gain.
Okay.
And ICE has everything to retool us, retool our students, re-equip our students, and reskill them, and walk with them in a journey that would definitely bring a positive end product or result.
So we are having a look at mindset, not just as a term that we throw around, but as a serious thing we focus on in building up in the students.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
And that is also now going to happen within Kenyatta University, and I think you'll be the one to break the news to us here. I want to switch to.
No, she'll be the one.
Oh, she'll be the one to do it.
She'll be the one.
Okay, very nice. I think she can pick it up from. She said it's 2 9-week semesters for the curriculum. So maybe let us know, Dr. Crystal, what are some examples of what students will learn, and then you can break us the news of how this is going to happen within Kenyatta University.
Yes, definitely. And thank you so much for the question. And so there's various precepts that we have. And so I called them precepts on purpose because there's so many different types of skills and traits and characteristics, but precepts has a specific meaning because there's a number of things that maybe you haven't necessarily even heard these words put together before, even like myself. I'm a wealth innovation strategist. That's not something that's just a common thing that people say.
True.
So the same thing with mind diversity assessment. How do we use our mind? That is some of the very first things that we will be doing when we get into the sessions, is to do what's called a mind diversity assessment so that we can do also what's called a creativity pull. And so all of these things deal with how we use our mind so that we can then use our skills and our hands to do what's necessary in the next session. So there's the monetization initiatives, as well as the innovology initiatives, which is really set up so that we can get people to wrap their mind around these various concepts. And so another thing is called pivot ability, because everything doesn't necessarily stay the same in this world. And so knowing how to look around at all of the different things that are common and that are stable, and then what's not stable, and then you put it together in a pivot ability assessment. And so I'm really, really excited to be able to share all of these different types of tools and techniques with the students so that they can go out and use them themselves. Because again, I mentioned interactive. Some of the actual homework, which are about 2 or 3 weekends that they will need to do, is to go out into their communities and utilize some of these skills. Come back and we have some discussions about it, but they will be able to make some impact right away in their communities.
All right. When you've mentioned your title there, which is Wealth Innovation Strategist, I remembered Innovology. Dr. Juma is a World Civility Ambassador, and as you said there, mind diversity assessment, some new terms that these students will come to learn and also explore. Is this and I also know that you've worked with Roy Klein, who is an inventor, and also his title goes Grandfather of Possibilities. These new terms, are they also part of shining light towards the nature of possibilities and new paths that these students will likely explore?
Yes, and so with what I do, I have where there's a number of things that I've done over my life over the last 40 to 50 years or so. I always end up having to say how old I am because people are saying, you've been working for 40 or 50 years. Well, yes, I have.
Okay.
This year I'll be turning 60 years old, and during that time I've had radio shows, TV shows, all kinds of interviews with lots of amazing people. And so with all of that, and plus what I've done in engineering, genetic research, marketing, media, publications, all of these different things have helped me to put together this curriculum. And so on my various shows, I have one that's called Out of the Mouth of Legends. And that's a part of my billionaire and multimillionaire alliance. And so I've interviewed some really, really great minds. And you mentioned Ron Klein, and he's one of the main inventors of the magnetic strip on the back of the credit card. And he's invented some other things related to Wall Street. And even I just had an interview with the founder of UGG Boots. and I don't know if you know anything about UGG boots, but that particular company that he sold made a couple $2 billion last year. And the names go on and on, Priceline.com and LifeLock, and just a lot of big companies that had really, really big exits that these people have done very well in their life. So with all of the knowledge that they gave me, and when we had exchange during these various interviews, I'm able to utilize some of that as well, and give it back to the students, and maybe even have where they can have internships or even have conversations with some of these people themselves. And so that would be pretty exciting to me if I was a student, to have a potential possibility of having a conversation with a billionaire, like who has that? And so, so it's something that I'm really excited to be able to offer the students, and the fun part too, because I'm real competitive.
Yeah.
And so there's a number of competitive elements in this, so that we can get their fires going, in their heart to really want to not just learn, but to apply. Because if we don't apply what we learn, then what's the use of learning? Right.
That's actually a good way to pick it up there, Dr. Juma. If we learn and we don't apply, what's the use of learning then? Yeah.
Sure.
Now we are trying to integrate this within the Kenyan education system.
Yeah.
Or ICE is going to be integrated within the Kenyan institution.
Yeah.
How are we going to make this exciting for students, and which gaps do you see us patching there?
Well, I'm so excited because like the administration here in Kenyatta University, I do believe they have been very collaborative after discovering what ICE has for the students. And of course, they have been very welcoming in the sense that they saw value into the entire education system that we do have.
Okay.
And obviously, there's going to be a leverage on almost everything, especially on the implementation of this, bringing the practicality aspect, because so many of our students have the information, they have the knowledge, but how to apply this knowledge is a journey. And you realize that through the eyes, experts, professionals, those who are not just with the knowledge, but with a demonstration of what that knowledge looks like, these students are going to get exposure. I've always been told, and I think I value it, my professor used to tell me, Juma, as I teach you, I want you to understand, exposure is going to be greater than the education you're gaining. Why? Exposure is going to give you what possibilities are there available in the market space and in the market share. So you are going to have a different approach, different strategy on how you bring to implementation what you know. And so as our students here in Kenyatta University, and all those who are looking forward to be part of ICE in the sense of ensuring that they gain, there's the science of money. I don't know whether you understand, because I think we are focusing on that monetization.
Yes.
You see, there is the science of making money. So long as you don't have every detail about that science,
you might never hack it.
Definitely.
Okay.
You will wish, but you will remain a wisher.
Wishful thinking.
Exactly.
Okay.
But you see, what ICE is bringing is putting you in order, innovative thinking. In a world today that's very dynamic, ever-changing in all aspects.
Okay.
You get it? You need to be very innovative in your thinking to the extent that you are able to leverage from the advancing technology and ensure that the skill you have is producing something. You're not waiting to reach somewhere in a particular position or title so that money begin to visit your hands.
You're saying that you're already there, it's just that mentally there's need to have that kind of switch.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
What are the surrounding communities or the surrounding community looking to benefit from ICE?
The surrounding community, starting with the student, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. we, not even just students, even our lecturers are going to have greater exposure on some of the new knowledge, because one of the things that is key in this collaboration that is coming between ICE and Kenyatta University has to do with knowledge exchange. You get it? So both our lecturers are going to also get a new exposure into how they can help their students, not just the students, because so far, although Dr. Crystal is a person who is supposed to announce this, I was not hearing everything. I think you have more advantage.
She hasn't yet announced
anything. Yeah. But I do believe that there are already students that have been identified that through her generosity, and just to demonstrate that this thing is workable, it is practically workable. Okay. She's already offered some scholarship. I think she's going to mention something like that.
Okay, let's allow her to do that then. Dr. Crystal, please let us know of this amazing. He's shy to bring it out. I think you'll have the privilege of letting us know how this collaboration is working. ICE at Kenyatta University, what are these opportunities then, and how is it going to be operating? I understand it's with the School of Economics. Please let us in on more of the details.
Yes. So thank you so much. So yes, Dr. Juma was edging on this, right? So let me just go ahead and put it out there. And so yeah, we do have where there's a collaboration with specific schools within Kenyatta University. And part of what we're doing for this is a program where there's a number of students that have already expressed interest, and we are going to have where there's scholarships available for them to actually take the courses. They will have to purchase the books that are a part of the program, but they get a full ride scholarship for the actual courses. Okay. And so with that being said, you have one of the books, which is the 51 Powerful P's of Public Speaking, because if you have an innovative idea, you need to be able to communicate that idea and get it out into the world. And so having good public speaking skills is very important. And then the book about Innovology itself, we have that's going to be coming out the second semester with the 12 precepts. And this is what we're doing actually here is building a culture. It's not just a set of courses for a university. This is actually a culture. And so as Juma mentioned, and I mentioned a little bit as well, is that this is not just for the students, it's for the communities, it's for the professors, it's for those who are going to be monitoring the classes, because we need to have a proctor in the class for the various activities that we will be doing, as well as the testing. And some things we'll have where we go into various types of risk assessments, the use of AI, and then there's some things actually where they're just going to need to use pencil and paper, because I don't want anything on some of these actual tests that came from something that they looked up. A lot of it has to come from their mind, specifically from their mind. And then that's how I know that they really understood what the assignments were. But then on other things, like I said, we'll be using various types of technology. And we are looking to start this. We're starting recruiting as of this week. And it will be starting the week of March 18th is when sessions will start. And so we are very, very excited about this, and can't wait to engage with the students.
Right. Congratulations, of course, on that great initiative, Dr. Juma. Maybe you can speak more about the excitement around that. The students at Kenyatta University then now who are watching this show, I know a couple of them probably now wondering when, how, what do we do, how do we, what do we require for us to hop onto this amazing opportunity. I am actually jealous myself. I feel like re-enrolling. So I can...
You should be jealous.
So I can get into ICE. I feel like we'll be able to unlock much more that is within me. Let us know of how students can now get involved.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I do believe that at this moment, like today, we are finalizing on our MOU, the ICE, together with the Kenyatta University. And I think today we are finalizing on all the details. We have been closely working with the School of Business, Economics, and Tourism. And definitely they have been very forthright in giving direction. And so I do believe that every detail, every information is going to be given through that particular structure in the institution. But as far as we're concerned, ICE is more than ready. We were just waiting for all things to be in place. And I think there's more exciting things. Yeah, like you should be jealous because what is happening is that I know every young person has a career, but then with this fast pace, dynamic world, you need certain level of innovative thinking and action producing skills that I do believe ICE is more than ready. Plus the exposure of students. I know that those students who are going to go through this program successfully, outstandingly, I do believe that they are going to also have certain given privilege of exposure, which is going to be associated with their performance and how they have really been able to demonstrate throughout the program and the requirement of the program. But I am excited that today seems to be the day we are sealing everything. So welcome on board. And of course, for those students who are watching and who are listening, I think it's an exciting opportunity for you. I do believe there is a place and a point in life whereby you stop working for money and money begins to work for you. There is that point. And that is a journey. And you need to be helped to see what possibly you've not been seeing. Many people look, but not many people see. And there are so many opportunities that I do believe ICE is going to help you see, not just look at them. Yeah.
Now, maybe just one last one on that still. The broader context of education in the Republic. If we have this within Kenyatta University, I'm hoping, of course, I'm sure with the innovative mindset of Dr. Crystal, we're likely to see this across more institutions within the Republic. How do you see the larger impact on the education system? As you said earlier, and you said it without fear or favor, that we have we have been bred through a colonial system of education. Do you see this reversing that eventually?
Absolutely. Very transformative, my friend, because, and not just education, by the way, innovative ought to penetrate through almost all system, government system, organizations that are faith-based. You see, I really have a background of faith. And there is a story Jesus Christ spoke about the new wine and the old wine. And the issue was not about the old wine. The issue was the wineskins. You get it? And Jesus was simply pointing out on an innovative aspect when it comes to the reality that our processes, our methods, our approaches, our strategies need something that will have to innovatively be changed so that it can serve the present population. So for me, I see institutional transformation through this. A lot of, and that which is going to serve the needs more effectively. Yes.
Right. Dr. Crystal, let's get maybe a last round of remarks from you. And I'm just going to inquire on the international opportunities that these students are likely to, come across. Dr. Juma has mentioned that level of exposure for both the faculty and the students as well. And I'm sure this part of the international opportunity includes exposure. What more is there for them? And maybe you can explain a bit more about our theme for this conversation, which is sustainability and monetization. How can we energize and fuel sustainability and monetization? He's mentioned that not just for the education system. So if maybe I can also pick a few lessons I can take home to my neighbor, to my landlord, on how we can also fuel sustainability and monetization.
Definitely. Well, I do want to say that this is Innovology, and this is not just for college students. So the Innovation Centers of Excellence, part of what we're doing is, yes, infusing this into the university level, but this is also for children, for those in middle school, high school, as well as those who've already graduated. And so if you already have a company, or if you already have an idea, or if you've been in business for 5, 10, 15, 20, even 30 years or so, you can still use Innovology. And with His Royal Highness, Dr. Clyde Rivers, we have another program which is using these same elements, which is Royal Innovology, because we're able to help elevate people to a certain level of mindset, as well as their level in the community, by understanding it's another way of looking at Innovology. And so I don't want to give too much away on that, because I really want us to focus on what we're doing here at Kenyatta University and at other college levels. But Royal Innovology is for those who have already started in their businesses, or want to start a business, or want to do what I call a second wind, meaning you've had a really great career, but now you want to do something else. And so that's called Royal Innovology. Because even with the students, what we're teaching is not just for them to be able to go and get a job, but it's for them to have creativity enough to put and launch into the world their own businesses. And there's something called the cash flow quadrant, and we'll be going into that, where you want to be on the right side, where you actually are putting systems in place, and you're doing investing, and you're starting businesses and helping other people start their businesses based on what you've done. So this isn't just for us to have where they follow a model that we have in Innovology. It's for them to create their own models, and then their own cultures, and so on and so forth, so that it's not just one cookie cutter way that everything comes out, because each person was created individually for a purpose and for a plan that I believe God has for all of us. And it wasn't for all of us to be the hand. Somebody has to be the hand, the elbow, the head, the neck, like all the different parts. And so there's plenty out there that we all can do. And so I just really want to encourage all students to get involved in this and to register, because we will be starting the week of March 18th. And it's going to be very, very exciting. Like I said, I'm really competitive. It's going to be fun. And you're not just going to learn and sit and listen to me talk, because that's not how I teach. We're also going to have some other instructors that will be coming in. But it's for you to have the hands-on approach, because I believe, in innovation, where you can have hands-on innovation, that brings life to people, and that brings the fire to people to say, wow, I can do this. Wow, I do have great ideas. Wow, I can really change my community. I can really change my life and the life of my children and my children's children with this. And so it's not just for any one area in the university either, because these principles can be used throughout any curriculum. These principles can be used across any industry, across any of the denominations from a church perspective. As Dr. Juma said, it's a methodology, it's a culture. So I do see this really just spreading, and this is something that would be a good spread, in my opinion.
Right. Thank you very much there, Dr. Crystal. It's not just a curriculum, it's a methodology, it's a culture. Maybe to drive the last nail into this conversation, Dr. Juma, anything that we've left, and also an encouragement, as she's done, to the students to enroll and, of course, be excited about ICE.
Well, thank you so much. You are an amazing host always.
Thank you too.
So what I can say is very simply, this is a global engagement. Because there's much to gain when you are engaging and having such kind of conversation. You are able to know what you don't know. And one thing that is coming very clearly, that in a world of technology like today, you can use technology very decisively and become a wealth creating student or person. You can become a person that is adding value just because you have embraced this very culture it ought to be a culture in the sense that once it is a culture, then everything changes. You are not going to have people that are dependent to others. You are going to have people that can think right and do right. You're going to see results produced by right thinking. And that is going to be very transformational. It's going to shift the sense of having others down and others up. We can share knowledge, we can share energy, and we can see a changed society, a changed institution, and a changed nation.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Juma, World Civility Ambassador and also CEO at GPP Life Solutions Limited. Also a part of the amazing innovation that we're talking about, Innovation Centers of Excellence. Last word, Dr. Richardson, before we wrap it up.
Yes, I would just like to thank you for this amazing interview, and I'm really excited about meeting any and every student that is interested to be a part of the Innovology Center of Excellence. I can't wait to meet you and to pour into you and to also have you pour into me. It's not just one way. So Innovology, the manifestation of creative thought in motion. Let's start creating, let's start manifesting, and it starts with you and me.
Right. Can't wait to have you again here on the show in person once the curriculum kicks off.
Definitely, definitely. I'm looking forward to maybe coming around August or so, August, September. So I'm ready to be back on in person.
All right. Thank you very much, and have yourself a good day, a good evening, I assume.
Yes, thank you.
All right.
Have a good day.
All right. Thank you very much. That is Dr. Christelle Richardson. She's a wealth innovation strategist, humanitarian, innovator, thinker, thought leader, and much more. We've had a very insightful conversation. We did have one last year, February 2023. You can check it out on our YouTube channels. We'll also be uploading this as well for the students who are excited for ICE, the Innovation Centers of Excellence. One of it kickstarting already at Kenyatta University, and Dr. Juma has already let us in on the information. Thank you very much, sir, for coming in.
Wow. Thank you. It was a great show.
It's a great conversation.
And thank you so much also for the students, our audience.
Yeah.
I think it's time to grab opportunities are grabbed, by the way.
Yeah.
You seize them.
You don't wait for them to
You don't
come
wait
knocking.
for them to come knocking.
Yeah.
You seize them. So I think everyone can seize this opportunity.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. We are going for a short break here on Biashara Tuesday. Leave us a comment. We'll be right back. We are continuing with conversations on opportunities that you can tap into. One of those things that Dr. Juma has mentioned is to ensure that students are moving away from being dependent on others and also depending on themselves, creating opportunities. So we are looking at how you can live within your means. So that's the conversation we're having with the Finance Society of Kenyatta University. Don't go too far. We'll be back.